Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Hoopers Lab podcast. This is the podcast where we talk all things basketball. I'm your host, Brody, joined here by my co host, Riley.
Hola, soy Dora.
Hello, hello. How are you?
I am doing quite mid. I don't know, I
Well,
could not fall asleep last night. I I didn't go to bed exactly early, but I was still laying in bed for like at least half hour, 45 minutes. I was like, you gotta be shitting me, man.
yeah. So I'm lucky when it comes to sleep, you know? I can fall asleep like
I was
snap
gonna
of the
say you've
fingers.
always been able to pass out within like minutes.
Yeah, and I don't wake up in the middle of the night. Like, I wake up in the middle of the night once every like 6 months, I'd say.
Yeah,
So, I got a crazy, I'm blessed when it comes to sleep, you know?
bro's got that instant sleep schedule.
Speaking of sleep, the NBA has been kind of sleepy. Because
Snooze
not much.
fest.
Yeah. There's some stuff. I'm more excited for our podcast on Monday,
Yeah,
doing the basketball stuff. So, but I guess we have to talk about the NBA. I want to start with this because this pisses me off, and it continues to piss me off.
okay.
Um, I think it was Caitlin Clark who won something and recreated the Kobe Bryant photo. People
Yeah,
need to stop that.
I know.
It pisses me
It's
off.
cringe, man. Like, who was the first person that did it too? There's no shot it was Kuzma,
Uh,
was it?
no, no, people have been doing it before Kuzma.
Yeah, it's just like
The Kuzma one is the worst one though,
I know
because he's like
Kuzma's
surrounded by
Kuz,
trash.
Kuzma's is hilarious, but no, literally though, like I I don't even understand the point of it. Like, create your own iconic photo, bro. Like
Yeah,
LeBron
no,
with the cigar.
yeah. Or
I guess
your
that was
favorite NBA
I guess that was after
photo.
Jordan, but whatever.
Yeah, but like you love the Rondo photo. He wasn't copying anyone.
Is it up? It is up in the corner.
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah, you love that photo, man.
The Rondo photo goes hard, man.
It does go hard. Um, but yeah, it's just annoying, honestly. And it doesn't like. Do you know the actual significance behind the photo, like the original Kobe photo?
No, probably, but I don't remember it.
Like the reason that he's like sad?
No.
Really? Okay. Um, I don't want to butcher this, but I'm pretty sure this is what it is. Um, During that championship run, this is when he first started dating Vanessa Bryant, pretty
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
And his parents didn't approve of her. I
Damn.
don't remember exactly what the reason was, but his parents didn't go to any of the games that season. They didn't go to any games, and they just basically just disconnected from Kobe. And then when he won that championship, it was like, yeah, I'm happy because I won, but I don't have my family here, you know?
Damn, that's kind of crazy. And like, I get it's an iconic photo, but like now everybody's
I have it
trying
hung
to
up over
copy
there.
that, trying to copy that. Yeah, mine's
You
somewhere.
can see it right there, right
Yeah,
there behind. Yeah,
yeah, mine's somewhere. I don't know. Oh, I see it. It's not hung up though.
yeah, but create your own iconic moment. It just comes off as so corny.
Yeah, it's incredibly corny.
Yeah, there's no way to do it well
Yeah,
either. Like you're gonna
the way
look stupid
the way to
anyway.
do it well is by not doing it.
Yeah, exactly. And then whenever a player scores a lot of points in a game, they hold up the paper with the number they scored on it.
Yeah, yeah.
Copy Wilt when he scored 100. I hate
Someone
that shit too.
someone did it for like 40 recently, didn't they? I don't remember who it was, but I just remember seeing an odd ass number up there. I was like, what the
I feel like I did see someone do it for a low number.
reserve it for. I don't mind the paper thing as much. I think it's,
Yeah, I don't mind it as much, but it's
but
still stupid.
I think you need at least a minimum of 70 in order to get a picture with the paper.
Yeah, I feel like there was someone who did it with like 40 points or
I know. I'm
something.
trying to remember who it was and like why.
NBA player holding up paper.
47.
The- I don't know how I'm gonna find this, but because Embiid did it with 70, I swear someone did it with like 45 or something. I feel like it might have been like Darius Garland for some reason. That could be
40,
complete.
40 paper NBA.
We're not gonna be able to
I
find
know. I
this.
don't. Yeah.
I feel like it was a player who's like borderline all-star too. Like I feel like it was like Darius Garland or DeJounte Murray for some reason. Like that kind of like player. I don't know. Well, either way. Um, it's just stupid at the end of the day. And like you were saying before, create your own like iconic moment. Like why would you want to like copy other people and do it worse, you know?
No, literally. It's like, yeah. Especially like with one that literally everybody's done. Cause like it doesn't even pay really Kobe like homage or anything in any way. Like yeah, it's cool, but like the Kobe photo is iconic because it's Kobe, not because it's Kyle Kuzma.
Yeah, that's true. It's not, yeah, yeah. And it's also like I find it kind of funny how it's very similar to like Hollywood nowadays, where like people are just like remaking the same movies and just making sequels of old stuff instead of like creating new original ideas most of the time.
Yeah, well, everything like a lot of
It's
new
kind of
ideas are like in general are just like falling flat lately. Can't do
yeah,
it the way we used to.
yeah, but that's the problem. Like people go out and see these movies that are just like crappy remakes or crappy sequels. So then the companies are like, why would we stop doing this if it's working?
Yeah, that's the problem. At the end of the day, if it gets the money, they're gonna keep doing it.
Yeah. Unlike the Sony Spider-Man universe, which they're still doing, even though they don't get any money from it.
What was the last movie? Oh, I guess Madam Web was part of that universe.
Madam
Best
Web.
movie ever.
Literally, whose idea was that?
Let's make a
I think that's
Spider-Man
so
movie
many.
without Spider-Man.
With like not even an A or a B or even C list like villain in his catalog.
Who was the
Like a
villain?
D list. Hmm?
Who was the villain?
The villain?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Oh, it was some guy named like Ezekiel or
Ooh.
something. Ezekiel. Um, yeah. I also want to talk about there's been a trend online recently. I don't know if you've seen it. It's people complaining about 90s
This is where I
basketball.
thought you were gonna go when you mentioned that you hate that you're seeing this.
I hate that. Oh, what do you mean?
Like this is what I thought you were gonna start with when you said you were sick of people, or when you're
Oh,
sick of
yeah.
seeing this.
Well, I'm also sick of this one too.
Yes, I agree.
This
Um,
one I think is mostly jokes.
I don't know, man. I think a lot of people are starting to pick it up and be for real with this. And
That's actually
obviously, it's the younger generation. And as soon as I see someone say this shit, I will instantly uh, eliminate their credibility when talking basketball.
it's such a good indicator.
I know. I'm like, okay, you don't know basketball. No point to argue with you on anything. You're
Yeah.
obviously just a LeBron meat rider. But the thing is, it's like one of those things you instantly know. You're like, yep, this person. There is no point in discussing anything with them. Like, for example, I was talking to some guy on.
In most NBA conversations.
That's true. But I was talking to some guy on Twitter, and he was like, it was about Zion and the Pelicans, and he was like, Zion needs to be ran more like a shooting guard. And I was like, what? And that was the end of me wanting to talk to him. I was like, this guy lost all his credibility. Um,
Ooh.
but yeah, the we done with the '90s trend is stupid. I Because you could do that with literally any era. You could go out, find bad moments, and be like, "Yep, these guys are bums." Like we could literally do that today with games on
Just cherry.
yesterday's and find out
Yeah.
yesterday's games and find bad clips from it. Be like, "We done with the 2020s." And it's just stupid to compare eras like that. Like, yes, let's compare an era that has an all-time pace, all-time amount of talent, to an era that, yes, while it's not the 60s where Wilt could just walk to the basket and score 50 points every game. Um, you know, the pace is slower. There's basically no spacing, and
Literally.
and um, yeah, and it's overall less talented. But like at the end of the day, the only difference really is like the amount of role players that are on a single team. Like at the end of the day, the top team still had two, maybe three all-star caliber type players and whoever else around them. So it's not like you're going up against shit competition in the finals or in the playoffs. It's just a stupid argument overall. And to all the 14-year-olds that think you're funny or whatever, it's cringe. Stop.
Yeah, most of it is just like cherry picking, and like you said, you can do it with any like games. You can do it from games from last night. You could look at, do you know that Malik Beasley clip where he's playing defense and the guy blows by him and he literally does not
Oh
move?
yeah,
Like, it's
no,
just a
yeah,
rack.
where Halliburton points the one way
Yeah,
and then goes the other way.
but he's literally just like he just stays there.
This is why the
Um,
Bucks are bad defensively.
yeah, you could do it with defense nowadays. You could look at like when Lucas scored 73 against the Hawks.
He was scoring
Like
at will, bro.
the Hawks defense was awful. And yeah, you could just look at stuff like that, or even the foul baiting nowadays. Like you could look
Shit.
at that and be like, "This is basketball."
Yeah, no, exactly. Like the game is just so like while the talent pool and the amount of like players in the NBA who are elite, at least role players, is increased significantly, you can't just use that to compare the the compare it to basketball back in the day. It's like when LeBron fans try to bring up the fact that um, without Pippen, Jordan's like 3-0-3 in the first round or whatever. Which like,
Yeah,
yeah,
taking out it.
he came in as a rookie and played against the Celtics and the Bucks by himself. Like, what do you expect the man to do? And it's like the same thing with LeBron in the finals. Like, I'm not gonna discredit LeBron for dragging his sorry ass team to go play against the Spurs and Warriors, but at the end of the day, that's what happened. So it's obviously
Yeah,
not a positive either. Ooh, LeBron got his team to the finals and lost. Like, good for him.
my favorite accomplishment. Uh, it's also just like it's. This is why I don't really like. I've kind of strayed away from comparing MJ and LeBron and just like comparing across eras
No,
because
but
it's kind of impossible to
it's
do.
just such different. The GOAT debate is so stupid, man. I'm so glad I that you eventually grow up from that.
Yeah, exactly. Because no, it is like a real thing where it's like, who's the goat? Who's the goat? But like, at the end of the day, who cares? And like, there's not a definitive answer, and there's never going to be a definitive answer until 20 years when Wemby's got that.
For real. Nah, Bill
He's got
Russell's the GOAT. 11 rings. No one's ever topping that. Do you think that
yeah,
record
and
will ever be broken?
no,
I
I
don't
don't
think
think
so. You just had,
no.
like,
Just because
just the longevity, it's impossible.
not even that, but also like the disperse in talent nowadays,
Yeah.
like, and also the amount of teams there are. Like, I mean, I don't want to like discredit Bill Russell, but there weren't as many teams back then.
Well, I was gonna say, and
So
even, like, player empowerment's at an all-time high. Like,
yeah, if a
Kawhi,
team won
Kawhi,
9 championships in a row, there's going to be superstars teaming up for that 10th year to
yeah.
try and stop,
Well, and,
or vice versa.
yeah.
There's going to be like
Well, and
it
Kawhi
could be.
won a championship and literally dipped. So, like, literally, so much change happens yearly.
Yeah, exactly. Like I like those posts where it's like the NBA 5 years ago, and it's just like different.
You'll have DeMarcus Cousins,
Yeah, or just
DeMarcus, Isaiah
yeah, I don't know.
Thomas. Man,
Yeah,
it's crazy to this day. People still try to act like Isaiah Thomas could have a run in the NBA.
it's actually the dick riding is crazy.
I could post that man up and score on him.
Yeah, and then but then people hate on like Trey Young, for example. Like that's what
that's the flip that pisses me off, bro. It makes no
people
sense.
idolize. People love Celtics Isaiah Thomas, but then they look at Trey Young and they shit on him.
Foul baiter, in not efficient. Hunt's
Yeah,
playmaking assists. Like, get out of here, bro.
yeah. Trey Young's hated, unfortunately.
That's my dog.
But back to the era talk. The last thing I want to say, I just like appreciate all eras. Even though like
Except the 60s.
obviously this era more talent than like the '60s, I still appreciate the guys from the '60s because they helped pioneer the game.
Yeah, you can't
Like
discredit. It's like when people are like, you win a game, but they're like, oh, it was against the Sixers without Embiid. Well, what did you want us to do? Lose? Like,
yeah, exactly.
there's no point to
Like
discredit it. And yeah, the talk with the '90s specifically is stupid because like I was watching someone and they were talking about, so they were like, when does this we done with the '90s talk stop? Because like the same sort of like gameplay would happen in the 2000s, and like that's the thing, it doesn't stop. Like you can find bad moments from any year. Like look at fucking
or any player.
exactly. I was gonna say like look at someone like JaVale McGee. That
Yeah,
man had
but even
that
like
man has so many lowlights.
yeah. But when you look at like MJ, lots of people are like discrediting the '90s and looking at like clips of MJ where he's not dribbling with his left
He has
hand or
no
whatever.
left hand.
Yeah, but you could do that shit with LeBron. Like, do you remember that one
I was
clip
gonna say
from?
barely has any bag for LeBron fans to be talking. Bro,
Yeah,
LeBron's weak ass bag. Look at the ball.
or oh, what's that one clip? I think they're playing against. I think it might be the Suns in like LeBron's first or second year, and he like is going to inbound it, and he throws it off the back the back of the net, and it's a turnover. Or just like you could just do it with so many things, man.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
actually have.
bro.
Are we done with the '90s talk? We done with the '90s. I actually have one
We're
thing.
done with-
Huh?
Yeah, yeah. No, you go.
I have something I wanted to bring up. It's not really related, but when do you think LeBron's peak was? Because I was talking to my friend the other day, and he
Hmm.
said he thinks LeBron's peak was 2009.
2009, eh?
I think there's like three contenders. I think it's young LeBron, so like '09,
Uh,
'08, that era,
yeah,
2013,
three whole
and then
things.
2018, which is crazy because that's literally like 10 years apart.
Yeah, that's insane. My favorite LeBron season is that 2018 year,
Yeah,
but that doesn't account for like the best. But like from what I seen, because I only got in like we only got into basketball like shortly before that, like
yeah, 16,
2015,
17,
16,
16, 17,
yeah,
yeah.
around there. So like I didn't get to witness prime LeBron with the Heat, but I think that like that LeBron season might be like one of the best seasons I've witnessed, if not
Yeah,
the best.
I think like 2018 LeBron is the best mix of like peak or not peak athletic, but the best mix of athletic LeBron and like more skilled LeBron. And I think young LeBron is like the most athletic version of him. But I do think 2013 is probably his peak in my opinion.
2013 is his peak, I would say.
Yeah, I think most people feel the same way as well.
Yeah. Um, I'd say, yeah, just the amount of like pure dominance, just that might be the best. Like I wouldn't say it's the best player we've seen, but there's an argument that could be made.
And I think there's also an argument that he could have been unanimous MVP as well.
Yeah, I was just gonna look at the voting right now,
I think
for
according
that.
to Shaq, he thinks he should have been the first
Oh,
unanimous
this
MVP.
was yeah. That was the like Allen Iverson. There was like some guy that voted for Allen Iverson. But this year, yeah,
Oh yeah, didn't
LeBron.
someone vote Melo?
Yeah, it was Carmelo.
And it was like
Someone
It was
voted.
like a Knicks fan or a Knicks analyst, wasn't
It
it?
was like a, yeah, it was like a New York guy.
Yeah.
And then the same thing
Lazy.
happened. Yeah, same thing happened with Shaq's MVP, where
Yeah.
it should have been unanimous. He should have had the first unanimous, but I think it was Allen Iverson someone voted for.
See, that's a little more understandable than fucking Carmelo.
Yeah, Carmelo.
Give that man
Uh,
the MVP. His
yeah,
footwork
no,
is
that
amazing.
it's crazy the amount of like some people getting votes.
Yeah,
Like, and that's also why like this isn't to discredit Curry's unanimous MVP season, but like it kind of has an asterisk on it because like it shouldn't have been the first unanimous MVP season.
yeah, yeah,
You know, like I still consider LeBron's MVP season like kind of unanimous
yeah.
because it basically
That one's fraudulent. That and his his year he should have won D-play. LeBron got screwed out of
oh
the unanimous MVP in D-play.
yeah, he should have been Defensive Player of the Year that year. It's actually crazy that Gasol made the second All Defensive team.
I just don't understand how you do that, bro.
I don't understand either. Like, was it not the same people voting?
Literally, they're like, yeah, this guy won Defensive Player of the Year, but we think you're better defensively.
Yeah, I wonder who made it over him that year. Was it Serge or was it Tyson Chandler?
I
Was
feel
it
like it was
someone?
Tyson Chandler.
I feel like it was, or Joakim maybe in
Could
that era.
could have been Joakim Noah,
I
very
don't know.
greatest jump shot ever.
Could have been Larry Sanders, who was seventh in DPOY that year. Larry Sanders, what a guy. Um, Cavs legend.
I was gonna say goat.
Um, yeah, I think LeBron's prime is 2012.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but I mean, the fact that there's even like an argument and the fact that like he's had so many primes and like so many Hall of Fame careers in one, like
Yeah,
his first stint with Cleveland was a Hall of Fame career. His stint with Miami and
even
you
the
know.
Lakers feels like another evolution of LeBron.
Yeah, he's shooting 40% from 3 this year,
Yeah, and
you
especially
know.
the championship year too, where he averaged like 10 assists.
Oh, point guard
Wh-
LeBron that year? No,
I love
I love
point.
that
I
as
love
well.
point LeBron, man. I kind of want to see them go back to it.
Yeah.
They just had
That
to do
that
so much
team,
roster deconstruction and reconstruction, though. Which I mean, Rob Pelinka does love
yeah.
to do that.
Yeah, true. He was second in MVP that year too, behind Giannis. And I remember lots of people saying LeBron should have won MVP that year at the time.
Those were just little Giannis haters.
Yeah, it was mostly like ESPN. I
Yeah,
remember a lot on like ESPN were like, LeBron is the MVP this year. He's leading the league in assists and blah 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 blah. Um, yeah, but Giannis deserves that one. Okay. I was listening to Kenny, right? And
Contrell
so yes, our buddy Control, our future boss.
for real.
He was saying that like he changed his mind. Like in the moment, he was Harden over Westbrook for that 2017 MVP season. But he said that now his perspective is kind of flipped, and that he was just being a hater at the time. What do you think about that? Like, because we were big Harden guys, so do you still stand?
I still am a big Harden believer that he could have won that MVP. I'm not mad that Westbrook won it. Like I understand the narrative, obviously the statistics. He had his best three-point shooting season ever, literally an anomaly year. So like it makes sense. But Harden was just so fucking good that year, man. Like,
Yeah,
and I think the year after too was the year where he averaged 36, if I'm remembering correctly, which is even
yeah,
better,
he won the
obviously.
MVP.
But
Yeah.
yeah, like, and they were the Rockets were the first seed, were they not? Or were they top? Oh, they might have been top three actually.
I'm not sure.
But I think that was the heavy narrative that was being pushed as well, that the Thunder were like the sixth seed. Um,
Yeah.
so like, yeah, I still wouldn't be opposed to giving it to like if that MVP went to Harden, but I also am not opposed to the actual winner as well, because Westbrook had all the narrative and whatnot. But I also always just think that like people make it seem like he had a worse roster than he did. Obviously, he didn't have like any at the time any all-star caliber talent with him, but like it's not like he had a bunch of fucking scrubs playing with him.
Yeah, there were some solid role players, but
Steven
I mean,
Adams, Ennis Cantor when he could. sorry, freedom when he could still play
Freedom.
basketball.
Freedom.
I think Oladipo was still on that team.
Oladipo was there.
Was Sabonis there? If he was, he wasn't getting any PT.
I mean, it was rookie, yeah,
Yeah,
rookie Sabonis.
that's actually all I can remember right off the top. Andre
Andre
Roberson?
Rober.
Yeah,
Um, Hal Singler might have been on that team,
my goat.
probably. Taj Gibson, maybe at the trade deadline they traded for him. I remember he was, or maybe that was the year after.
Is he still on? Is he on the Knicks now?
I'm pretty sure he's
I
still
think
there.
bro's
Yeah,
still in the league, man. Bro's strictly
he
in the league because
yeah,
of Tom Thibodeau.
literally. Um, but yeah, I think that Jokic, his MVP year is very similar to the Russell Westbrook one, and I think that's why lots of
The
people's
first
like
Jokic MVP?
the one where he was, yeah, the first year where he lost in the first round to the Warriors and Jamal Murray was injured, or is that the second year?
I think that was no the first. Yeah, no, that was the first year. Because the second year, the
Uh,
Jokic's narrative was that he didn't have Jamal Murray or Michael Porter Jr. and they were still like
yeah,
the sixth seed, maybe. I don't know. Forget where
yeah.
they
So
were.
it's a very similar like year, and I think that just the MVP in general has kind of changed because of those two guys. Like, there's no consistent like
Yeah, I agree.
guideline for MVP.
I agree. That year is crazy, man. Jokic had Compazzo and fucking like the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse running with him, bro.
Literally, his on-off numbers that year are historical.
And the thing is, like, people at that point, um, part of the reason Embiid won was because they're like, we last year is because we when you see Jokic get it done in the playoffs, he now has this full roster and everything, and he went out and got that shit done. And I think that obviously Embiid would have been the MVP this year if he didn't get hurt, but
Yeah.
I think if Jokic didn't win a championship last year, I don't know if he's in MVP conversations this year.
Mm. I agree with that because I think that, I think that's kind of the thing we've seen with like, I don't know, but I don't know where I was going. But no, I definitely agree. Just because like now that he's got that championship, people are kind of like wanting him to succeed more.
Yeah, Jokic is like beloved, which is crazy
But
because
that's the opposite of like Giannis. Like Giannis won his first championship, and then people are like, okay, we're done giving you
that's
credit.
true. No, I think it's just because Giannis has that narrative of run and dunk man, which sucks. But
That's
like,
play style. Yeah.
yeah, but it's just like he's so good defensively. He's so good. He's a very underrated playmaker, especially for his size. And yeah, he's just like such a dominant force that I feel like Giannis is getting discredited lately. But like the problem is, man, like when comparing Giannis to like Luca, Luca is so fucking good at basketball, man.
Yeah. He's no, Luka's been insane this year. He's averaging like 35 a game, I think.
Yeah, his and that's the thing. People are starting to complain about Luca's stat padding, which like I get it, but like man, 35, 9, and 8, that is
Yeah.
insane numbers. And like, if there's anybody that we should get mad at for stat padding, it's fucking Shea, man.
Oh my gosh. We have it. Yeah, the Kevin Durant to beat Kevin Durant's like record for 30-point games in a season.
Yeah,
You were just gonna do that the next game anyway. Like it's not like it was the last game of the season, because then I'd be like, okay. But he did the next game, and he's gonna keep doing it
he
because he
literally.
loves getting 31
I was
points.
gonna say it's literally always 31 points.
He's the 31-point
If
man.
the over is 31.5, bet the under.
I've got so many notifications. I've got so many notifications this year of like, because whenever someone scores 30 points in our fantasy league, you get a
Oh yeah,
notification that
yeah.
they scored points. I've gotten that
Oh,
notifications so many
Shea's
times.
got 30 again.
I'm just like so like desensitized to it. I'm so unfazed when I get the notification because
Do
like,
you still have Aiton?
no, I traded
He's
his
been
ass.
hooping lately.
Don't tell me.
Bro's
We're
been
not
putting
gonna
up 30 and 20 games.
get off this topic. I don't like this anymore. Um, Gosh, let's see. We were talking about a bit of like foul baiting, and it seems like the refs are starting to crack down a bit.
And yeah,
So
I'm
like,
wondering if this is kind of Adam Silver's way of what did he say exactly he wants to do? I don't know. All I know is that he wants to lessen the offense and improve the defense, which like if that means less fouls, I'm game for it. And less like rewarding flopping, go for it.
yeah, it also helps the viewership too
Yeah,
because like I'm
nobody
not trying
wants
to
to sit
sit
here
through
and watch
free throw.
Shea shoot 20 free throws a game
Hey. I use him as an example.
because him and Embiid are the worst, especially Shea.
I don't think Shea's that
Man, have you seen that man drive to the paint and flop his head back?
bad. No.
He's modern day James Harden, arguably
I mean,
worse.
hey, Shea plays defense.
Harden played
No,
defense.
you cannot say Shea is worse at flopping.
I've seen the
You
clips.
can no.
Harden played
Is this the
defense,
debate?
just not good on ball.
That was the opposite. Or no, he was in the passing
Yeah,
lanes.
he was good at getting like steals. He
Yeah.
has really good
Well, he
hands.
he's good. Yeah. He like I guess he also led the league in steals.
That DeRozan clip is
But
always I think it was DeRozan where he's like not even
yeah,
looking and he strips it. That's elite, man.
it is. I'm pretty sure it is DeRozan on the Spurs. Bro, that's all I could think about when you did that in our last basketball game. I was, I was, yeah, he's got those hardened
Bro, and
hands.
he was complaining too. He was like, "That's a foul." I was like, "Are you serious right now, bro?
That was
That was
just
all leather
all leather. You got the basketball seams imprinted on your hands.
for real." In my
Yeah.
calories.
So yeah, it seems like the refs are starting to crack down on that, which I like because it helps the viewing experience and just overall just like builds a better product,
Yeah,
which is what the NBA is really trying to
get
do.
those floppers out of here.
Yeah, pretty much. Like obviously they're still gonna find ways, but I like the idea of more physical defense.
Yeah, I agree.
And yeah, really it just needs to be like consistent.
Yeah,
That's kind of the big thing. But I okay, this is gonna sound a bit crazy, but I wouldn't mind extending the three in the key rule to make
the
Wemby the
five.
greatest of all time.
That's the reason.
That's the only, yeah, it's called the Wemby rule.
Isn't it the only league that has three in the key?
Yeah, it is.
The
It is
Wemby
the only
rule,
league.
just like Kareem made the no dunking rule.
Yeah, but that was to like, lessen him. This one's to bring Wemby up,
Wemby doesn't even need
which
the fucking rule, man. He already averages
that's
like
what
4 blocks.
I would imagine he did. He averages 4 blocks a game, but he could be averaging
I was gonna
six.
say, bro's gonna average the quadruple double.
Yeah, the 5 by 5. Yeah, average a 5 by 5. Yeah, but
I need Wemby to put an
I
end to
wouldn't.
this GOAT debate, man. 10 rings.
Hmm?
I need Wemby to put an end to the GOAT debate. 10 rings, 10 MVPs, 20 Defensive Player of the Years.
What? I mean, we'll have to see. Next year it
I was gonna say
starts.
I'm putting my money on Wemby next year.
That would be crazy.
I feel like it's not like I feel like
It's not too
the
much.
odds aren't actually gonna be great on it because like
The odds wouldn't
he's
be great,
because he's
yeah.
already two this year with the Spurs not even being good defensively. So like
It's insane, yeah. Yeah, and then with like, even if the Spurs get like, if they were to get Trey Young, those odds would just, he'd be the favorite
yeah,
because then they'd win basketball games and he'd be that beast defensively.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, I like that the refs are starting to crack down on it a bit more, you know. And also, playoff basketball is the best because one part of it is because
they do crack down on
the
it.
refs kind of crack down.
Look at Embiid.
Yeah,
There's a reason he averaged 20 last year instead of 30 in the playoffs.
yeah. Why do you think Embiid, sucks in the playoffs? I wanna talk about this. I don't know how this is gonna go, but Jason Tatum's been struggling, and you know, Jason Tatum is an amazing player, but he does have lots of moments for like a star player. Am I lagging?
A little bit.
Oh, that's okay. He does have lots of moments for a star player where he kind of like, you know, so like, Who's the worst player that can be the best player on a championship team?
When I saw the Jason Tatum at the top of your notes, I was happy because I was gonna bring this up myself. Actually, I think
Okay, well, here we go.
I'll get to that after, but I think we done with Jason Tatum. If the Celtics don't do it this year, I'm off on Jason Tatum as a number one option. If you can't win with
Hmm.
five All-Star
Yeah.
caliber players on your team, and like obviously their bench isn't great, but you have Al Horford, you have on the No Dunks pod they said play eight, or it might have been I think it was No Dunks. They said play eight, trust seven. So like it's not like you're gonna be giving other players heavy rotational minutes anyways. So you have your six with Al Horford and whoever the hell you trust with as your seventh, and whoever the hell the last person is you want to
Pick
play out
your
there.
number.
Yeah, then go with that. But if the Celtics crumble this year and don't win a championship, I'm done with Jason Tatum as the number one option.
They were down 3-0 to the 8 seed last year, and I feel like that's kind of like forgotten about.
Yeah, I mean it's all
And
forgotten about because the Bucks were the one seed and lost to them, but the Celtics were a dominant two seed as well, who's been to the conference finals and finals the past three seasons before.
yeah, well, also their championship year when Tatum absolutely just bombed it in the finals,
Yeah.
and he did all this big talk because he was like,
For
"This
Kobe.
one's for Kobe. I'm gonna unlock my inner
But what did he,
Mamba."
bro? What did he text him before game?
I don't
I
even
just remember there's like
remember.
a screenshot. He's like, "This one's for you" or some shit, and came
I
out
don't
and
even.
put up a stinker.
I searched up Tatum texting Kobe, and there's a meme beside it. He said, "I got you today."
Oh yeah, he did not, in fact, got you.
Oh, I found this meme. Sorry, man, my phone's been on vibrate. Hey, Jason, I'm up in heaven right now. Two
The
other people
hell.
think I'm watching this series.
Um,
I mean, I played beer pong last night watching Abraham Lincoln and Wilt Chamberlain. He's playing beer pong with Abe and Wilt.
can't blame him. But yeah. As for this, for Tatum, I think this is the last year. But in terms of who I think could lead a team to a championship, obviously we still have LeBron in there because at the end of the day, LeBron could just be the best basketball player whenever he wants.
Yeah.
Um, Jokic,
And KD?
Jokic, obviously. Um,
It might be KD.
yeah, let's start from the top. Jokic,
Oh, I guess he's the best player to. Okay, now okay. Let's reset. Jokic,
Jokic,
obvious.
Giannis.
Yeah,
Um, give me Luka as the third best player in the
yeah.
league. Luka,
Luke.
Luka, 100%. Even though it's heliocentric, he's just so good at basketball. Like I don't see any reason not to have him up there. Steph, obviously. I think he's won enough championships to prove that. Even though he only has one Finals MVP. Um, who do we got after? LeBron.
Like,
Um, I guess
and KD.
Tatum's probably up there in terms of talent, but yeah,
Yeah,
KD. I mean, he hasn't won one on his own yet, but I mean,
he's been amazing this season, man.
I don't know what the Suns' problem is, man. Like, I feel like they should be
They're
better than what they
awful.
are, huh?
They're awful in the clutch. That's one main
They're
thing.
like the Pelicans.
I think they're just like their play calling in the clutch isn't great,
Yeah,
and also like I also just think too that like when your big three has barely played together, it's hard. But even still, they should still be winning lots of
Well,
games.
I think just the way they play, it's hard to use them all like together.
Yeah, they're also like a team that they're an offensively driven team, but they don't shoot a crazy amount of threes.
They're all mid-range guys.
They're
Well, except
yeah,
Beal.
which I
I don't
think
know if I know Beal came into the league as a three-point guy. I haven't paid a lot of attention to Bradley Beal numbers, if I'm being completely honest.
other than that contract.
Yeah. Other than the fact that he's the highest paid player on the roster.
Yeah, which is insane. Um, but yeah, back to the Tatum thing. Like, their window is especially like shrinking too, just because Drew Holiday's getting older.
Well, you can see the regression. I don't even
Yeah,
want to say regression, but just the fact that he doesn't have to do as much, and like he's literally said he was planning on to retire soon. So like,
he's probably gonna retire in a couple of years, and then Derek White's gonna be a free agent in a couple of years. So like, a team could throw him a bag, and I don't know if the Celtics will be able to bring him back just because Tatum and Jalen Brown are making so much money.
Kristaps always
Um,
has injury problems, and yeah, like that's the thing. Like you're gonna have to pay. Like Jalen Brown's the highest paid player in the NBA. If you want to keep like Tatum's a free agent, what? Not this year, but the next year. You're gonna have to pay
something like
Tatum that money too if you want to keep him. And at that point, it's like you literally have like what 20% of your cap left to build the rest of your roster. That's not
yeah.
easy.
No, exactly. Like their window is like shorter than I think people think, just because like Tatum and Brown aren't like old, but like when you look at like the flexibility of this team going forward, and even like Al Horford's been amazing for them, and he's gonna retire soon.
Al Horford's like what
So
38? That man is old as hell.
he is old. Like how much more seasons does he have left in him? And he'd be a hard guy to replace.
Yeah.
He's 37. He'll be 38 in June.
Is it June yet? Makes sense.
Um, yeah. So it's gonna be interesting. I wonder if the Tatum and Brown duo will ever break up,
That's what
just
I was
because
thinking. Cause like with the
that opens
amount of
up.
money, if you want to keep Tatum, I think you have to move on from Brown. I feel like that's harder though, cause Brown is gonna be making what like 60 mil. Like even if for as good of a resume that Jalen Brown has, I don't really want to pay him $60 million. Whether or not you think he can be the number one option on your team, which I obviously if Tatum can't, I don't think Jalen Brown can.
The thing about Tatum too is like I feel like he's a guy that wouldn't want to be like the second guy, but I also like
I don't think
don't
his play
know.
style fits it, which is the
Yeah, but I
problem.
also don't know who a secondary player would be that would like fit with Jason Tatum, because Jason Tatum isn't really like with a great point guard, they would need the ball in their hands a lot. And Tatum's a guy that needs the ball in his hands, I'd say.
And I don't think
Um,
Tatum works very well with a big either, because he's not like a high usage pick and roll guy, nor is he a very great playmaker. Like he's improved over the years, but I wouldn't put him on any
yeah,
upper echelons level of that.
I don't know who you can really play off of.
That
It might have
yeah,
to be like a situation where it's like you stagger his minutes with someone
that's the
a
thing.
lot.
That's why like the Jalen Brown and Tatum duo isn't bad because they both do similar things, and you can stagger that. And yeah, Joe Mazzulla does a really good job of staggering their minutes. Um, but yeah, I think in terms of compatibility, I think the best option is like a Tyrese Halliburton type point guard who's looking to get everybody involved because like his play style doesn't really fit anything in my opinion, which isn't a bad thing. It's just like it's like Luca. Like you're obviously not gonna put fucking Chris Paul next to Luca. Like that's stupid.
Yeah, yeah, and like Embiid's not gonna fit next to Luca like perfectly just because they don't need the ball. There's only one basketball, guys.
Your turn, my turn.
Yeah, exactly.
Tyrese Maxey is quite literally the perfect fit next to Joel Embiid.
Yeah,
I
and
think of
that's
it.
Embiid's the perfect second guy.
I'm not comparing them, but it gives me Shaq and Kobe vibes. Like Embiid is just this
Just
dominant.
Tyrese Maxey is the same as Kobe Bryant.
Crucify him. No, Embiid's like this dominant inside force, and then Maxi's just
Is he
like a
more?
killer from the outside. Super quick as well. Is he?
Yeah.
Damn. Guess
Embiid's kind of,
guess we'll see.
jump shot.
That's true. Guess we'll see in the playoffs if he's even
I guess
fucking
we'll
here
see.
for the playoffs.
It's funny how there's been no update.
I don't think he's coming
Like,
back, bro.
to say he's not coming back,
Yeah.
literally. Like, what is this? We all know what's going on. We all know that he's either gonna, come into the playoffs with
Stink
one
it up.
leg and stink it up, or he's gonna miss the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like, you might as well just recoup and then come back next year because you don't want him to be injured, and really hurt himself, and then he's stuck on that contract and his window is just gone.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. Even if he's healthy, I don't think they win this year. So, you know, we'll have to see who they pursue in free agency with their money. They picked a bad year
I
to,
know there's like he'll get the corpse of Clay Thompson.
yeah, they'll try to go after Paul George, but they won't be able to.
Yeah, no, I don't. Well, because LeBron can decline and enter free agency, but he's definitely just gonna re-sign. Who else is
Um,
there? OG's technically a free agent, but I can imagine he'll get an
I think
extension done
he'll love
early.
New York.
Huh?
Yeah. I think he'll love New York. I think that, like, even though he's been injured, I think that that's like his a really good fit.
Yeah. Well, he just came back not too long ago, didn't he? I hope they
I think
I
so.
hope the Knicks
That'd be really.
get Julius Randle and Mitchell Robinson back because I was really liking what I was seeing from the Knicks before literally their whole roster got hurt at the same time.
Yeah, literally. It's just been the Jalen Brunson show, which I'm not
I
complaining.
was gonna say
So as
he's
a Jalen Brunson fantasy owner, he had 45 yesterday, so I'll take it. What was I gonna say? Pascal, I guess, could be just because, like, he hasn't been going great in Indiana, and him and Embiid are the Ongo boys.
yeah,
You
I've
know,
always not never hated that fit, but
McNurse back with Pascal too.
back again, he's not going there. He's like, damn, no way I'm playing 40 minutes per game again. I think I think the problem is with going after Pascal is that you'll just end up like with too much um money going towards Maxi, Pascal, and Embiid to the point where you can't
That's what
build
they're
the
trying
rest of
to
your
do.
roster. Huh?
I thought that was like their plan though. They like want to fill up a spot to get that third guy.
It does, I don't know, it makes sense, but then I feel like you're just gonna because they
I'm
have
not saying it's the right
I think
idea.
like the only person basically they'll have only like rotational player they'll have under contract is Paul Reed. So like I don't know.
Yeah. But it's also just like look at like the Suns. The Suns are doing that right now and it's not working.
Yeah, like it's
So
mediocre at best.
I don't really like the idea of doing that. And like a team with let's say Pascal, Maxi, and Embiid. That's still not beating the Celtics or maybe Bucks.
Yeah.
You know, like it's a team sport. Like as much as people want to say that's just like dominated by like big threes and superstars, I think we've kind of shifted nowadays where you do need that team. That's why the Nuggets won last year because they're so cohesive and they're such a well-built
They
team. They're
just
the
fit
perfectly
perfectly.
built.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't really think that you can just throw together superstars or even just like not even superstars. You can't just throw three all-stars together and think that that's going to work.
Yeah. I agree.
Or two superstars and just an all-star, two all-stars and a superstar. Like I don't think that's how it works anymore.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Parody.
The Pacers have been. You go.
I just said parody.
Oh, yeah. The Pacers have been skidding. They haven't been great. Reese was on an awful streak. I don't know if he's still on like a bad streak, but
As a fantasy owner, he's not playing like the way he was at the beginning of the season, but he's also not putting up 0 points and 3 assists against Herb Jones.
but yeah, they've been on a bit of a skid. Their last 10, they're 5-5, and they're just like mid right now, which sucks because they started the season off so fun and so good.
Crazy, they're still the 6th seed above Philly.
Yeah, for now. Benedict Mathurin is out for the season now,
Yeah.
so that's a huge loss. I also I don't know why they traded Buddy Hield, man.
I was gonna say, like, I know he expressed like that he didn't want to be there at the beginning of the season, but it was working well.
He is the like most him and Reese had the like biggest connection.
Yeah,
Reese is the guy that or Heald is the guy that was assisted the most, like with Reese. Like that connection was there.
yeah,
And it helped them win games because they were like he fit in perfectly. He was the shooter for this high pace offense that would literally just run to the other corner, just run back and forth between corners,
yeah,
you know? Um but yeah, so that kind of sucks. And they only got like a couple seconds for him. Like I would have rather
yeah.
just got
I
nothing
agree.
from him and
Like
let it.
what they got was like meh. Like there's no point at that point.
I would have just held on to him and made some noise in the playoffs
Yeah, I agree.
and lose for nothing. But yeah, they're gonna probably lose in the first round, or they're gonna lose in the first round if they get there, which sucks because they looked like a fun team, a team that could make some
I
noise.
think the
But
problem is just the defense, man. Like they can't defend a fucking thing, bro.
yeah, Reese and Pascal also haven't really been clicking as much as you'd
I was
want.
gonna say they need to step up on both sides of the floor, and I think at that point when you can get your two guys to really buy in, especially defensively, like obviously you have Miles Turner as a back end defender, but he can't fucking defend everything himself. It's like Gobert and when he was with the Jazz, like he can't solely. Well, I mean he did, but it's not a recipe to succeed to be solely
No,
the only good defender. So I think if you can get them two to buy in, everyone else will buy in. And if you could get like an actual POA defender type and through free agency, I think then you're looking pretty good. But yeah,
what is these guys are too complicated. They use all these abbreviations. They're too smart.
first
But
time
yeah,
ever.
I agree. But yeah, it just sucks that the season is gonna end in a way that's not great, probably.
Yeah,
Just because how fun they look to start the season and stuff like that. Um, yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, I want Jinx. Maybe they'll make some noise. I don't know, but
jinx them in a good way. Who'd they be playing right now? Cleveland?
they'd be playing
No. Yes.
the. Yeah,
Cleveland.
they played.
Cleveland fucks them up, unfortunately.
The lights are too bright, man.
Lights aren't bright for
Lights are.
Jared Allen. Did you know he's like third in depoy odds?
Jared Allen.
Yeah.
Good for him.
It's no, I agree. It's like deserved, but like kind of crazy.
It's just because the deploy race hasn't really been like existent. Like
Yeah.
the first week of the season, we knew who
Ever
the deploy
literally
would be.
like 2 weeks we were like, yep, it's Gobert. Wrap it up.
We're like, yeah. There's always like that award in a couple of like every year there seems to be an award where it's like determined in the first 2 weeks, and it's just like, oh,
Yeah.
well, I mean, but yeah,
I
Jared Allen's been.
yeah. I have a proposition. No, it's actually just a question. Um, what do you think the true value of a role player is? So, for example, someone, a Pelicans fan, said that Herb Jones is the most valuable player on the Pelicans. While I'm not trying to discredit how valuable he is because he's been elite defensively, he's been shooting the ball at an insane clip. Um, but at the end of the day, you take Zion or BI off the team. Um, is Herb Jones' value the same essentially? So does that make
Yeah,
him the most valuable?
that's a no. I definitely don't agree with that guy. I think that a role player can only be as valuable as his like top players,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
And like
because that's what
there's a
makes them like excel.
yeah, but there's a reason why we've seen different role players go to like losing teams and just
Mikael
not.
Bridges.
That's not really what I meant. I meant like um, I don't know an example right now, but we've seen like God, what am I thinking of? I think but we've seen role players like do really good, be really impactful, go to like a more losing team and try and do the same stuff, and it just doesn't really work as well. Like
Yeah,
I think the leaders of the team have to lead, and then the like role players will follow.
yeah, I agree. Because like with someone like, obviously this is the best of the best, but like Jokic, he makes Aaron Gordon look like Jesus, man. And they fit so perfectly together that he had Aaron Gordon looking like an all-star. So yeah,
Yeah. Um, but yeah, even just like yeah, a role player like they play a role. Like if you put a role player without a star player, then it's kind of harder to
that's
like
like
look at
the
Jeremy Grant.
yeah, and that's like the thing with the Cavs teams, like the LeBron led teams where he would leave, they would be like whatever 62-20, like in his younger years they'd be like 60 wins and whatever,
Which is insane.
and then he'd leave and they'd be like 20 wins and they're like this is the value of LeBron. But like in reality, it's because while the roster at that time wasn't great, you're building these rosters to be the engine around LeBron and try to find role players to fit around LeBron. So you take away your engine, the car's not going to move.
Yeah, no. Like you still got these other, pieces of the car, but if you don't got the engine, it's like, I like that actually. Like they're great tires, but if there's no engine, they're not gonna move.
Yeah,
They're not gonna
yeah,
go
no,
anywhere.
exactly.
Yeah, and I think of like Derek White as well. Like if if Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are like injured, like Derek White's gonna not be as valuable
Because he's
just
just not a
because like
shot creator. Like
of
the
the-
thing is, like I feel like Derek White is almost an exception, just because it feels like he's been shooting the ball really well this year. But like obviously,
yeah.
when you have defenses key in on you more, it's gonna be a lot more difficult to score.
But that's another thing. Like role players are super valuable, but like coaches aren't planning for the role players.
There's a
Like
reason when
they're
Mikal Bridges was traded that he was putting up 40-point games. Because I remember I was watching the one where he was going crazy. He was just shooting like open jump shots, man. I was like, what is this?
yeah. And now this season he's been struggling because teams are more prepared for what's gonna like happen.
Yeah, but the
Um,
Nets think he's the guy to build around, so can't
yeah.
can't complain.
Like role players are super super valuable, okay? Don't get me wrong, but I think that they're getting a bit overrated in some senses and I don't know.
Yeah,
Like
I don't think
you have to think
I don't think
about
that's a
stars
bad
sometimes.
take.
I just think back like Derek White was amazing, but like should he have been in all-star conversations
No,
over Jaylen Brown?
exactly.
No.
Like you can't just
Like
put together a team of role players without any actual all-star talent and expect it to work.
I mean when expansion happens, maybe that's what well maybe that
Well, I
this conversation
guess we'll find out.
yeah. Which I'm excited for because like there's so many guys that are just like riding the bench right now that could like be getting actual opportunity. But I don't think that would translate to wins. I just think that it would give them, a chance to show themselves.
Yeah. We've got to be really
Uh,
close to an expansion. I feel like Adam Silver's been talking about it forever, man.
we have to be. I feel like because it takes a while to like the whole process.
Yeah,
I feel like 2 years, man.
politics. Yeah, like I would say I'd feel confident saying like not this upcoming year, but the next year. But like, yeah, I don't know. There's just so much that like
Or the
goes
year
into
after.
it.
Yeah. I'd say it gets announced not next year, but the year after, and then it comes into place like 3 years down the line.
I could see that. I could see that.
Yeah, something like that. Because we definitely have to be close,
Do you think they'll
and
give us
like
two teams or one?
it has to be
I was
two.
gonna say if they made fucking 31 teams, I might have to put a bullet in Adam Silver's head. Just kidding.
God damn. Um, there's no way it's not going to be Vegas and Seattle,
I was
though.
gonna say it has to be, because then you can
Like
move.
we
You
know
can
it's
put them both in the
the
West and
West.
move. I don't know, New Orleans. I think Memphis is also really close. Just one of those teams that shouldn't be in the West and move them to the East.
There's teams, yeah. I feel like, yeah, Memphis is crazy. Like when they play LA and like in the playoffs, like it's just crazy that they have to go so far for that.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know America. I want to see who's more East. I'm gonna pull up a map.
I think the Bulls are like pretty close to the middle too. Obviously, they're already in the
Well,
East, but
the thing I find weird is that the Chicago Blackhawks, their hockey team, is in the Western Conference in the NHL.
yeah,
But in the NBA, they're in the East. and they play in the same arena. So it's literally just like they're a team that, it just depends on what the league needs.
Yeah.
So they could definitely, but let's see, Alabama. Okay, Louisiana. Where's oh. Tennessee is way more east than New Orleans. Actually, yeah. Tennessee is more
Yeah, I
east,
know they're both super far east, so yeah.
which is crazy. I didn't know they were that far east, which is
Geography.
like originally I thought that the Pelicans would be the team that would move east just because they're close to Florida and because um, Nashville, their NHL team is in the West.
Yeah.
But why? They're literally east.
Yeah.
They're aligned. They're further east than Indiana and Illinois.
Yeah, it's stupid.
That's crazy. They're like aligned with Michigan and Ohio. Yeah, weird shit, man. But it'll be easy to move someone east.
No, exactly.
So
Then the Pelicans will
yeah,
get an easier schedule.
yeah, the
Piston,
pellet that
Pistons and Wizards
I don't.
4 times a year.
That's actually good too, though, because like the Pelicans and Grizzlies are teams that are like so good, but they just get like stuck in the West.
No,
So that would
exactly.
actually, I'd like that if they, they go out east and they kind of, they establish themselves. And also, we just need to like make the West worst, honestly.
Yeah,
Uh,
the West is too OP. Well, I
it's
didn't realize the Lakers were like, I don't know what they are now, but when I had checked, they were like almost 5 games over 500, and I was like, damn, they're still like the fighting for the ninth and 10th seed with their record. It's
same
kind of
thing with
crazy.
the Warriors.
Exactly. Like
Warriors are
they're playing,
crazy.
they've been playing so well, but it's just like hasn't mattered.
Yeah, the Lakers are 36 and 31, so they're well above 500. In the East, they would be
Aaron Donald announces retirement.
They'd be like they'd be close to six. They'd be one game back of the six seed,
Yeah.
which is crazy. Like they won't have to fight for the play-in.
No, it's
I also
crazy.
I love how LeBron, when the play-in was first
I
introduced, was
know.
like, "This sucks." Now he's the
Now
play-in.
he needs it
Yeah, now it's saving his career because he's missing the playoffs. Um, like you know,
every year.
it's just basically this man is thanking Adam Silver. He's praying. How long have we been going for?
Just over an hour. Make it be known
Okay.
on this podcast, recorded at 11:12 a.m. The Pistons will beat the Heat tonight to go on a 3-game win streak.
Oh my God. Hey, didn't they just beat the Heat?
No, it was the Wizards. That's that,
Oh,
that's why I said the Pistons are gonna win. Heat are just gonna come
uh,
out, fuck around, and get their ass beat.
the Heat are on a four-game losing streak right now.
Are they? Damn, I knew they were on a streak. I didn't know it was already 4.
They're the eight seed. Chicago's creeping up.
Bulls basketball is back.
Yeah, the DeRozan game winner against Indiana. Poor Indiana, man. Yeah. Um, last thing. Did you see the clip of LeBron where he's like talking to those two women?
Yes,
Hey, it just added. We've talked about this before, but LeBron is the funniest player in the league, and this clip just added to the like collection
he's so
because this
unintentionally funny too. Like other times he is, like he does try to be intentionally funny, but he's also just so unintentionally funny.
But did you see, like, did you read his lips, what he was saying?
No, I didn't know what he said.
Okay, so the two women are there, and they're talking. He's like, first off, Happy International Women's Day.
Is that actually what he said? That's crazy, bro.
Yes, you can read his lips, and he tells them because it was on International Women's Day. He was like, just sitting there. He's like, first of all, I just want to say, Happy International
Bro,
Women's Day. I'm like,
bro had to get it off his chest.
Savannah did not like
I
that
was
video.
gonna say she's like punching the air.
Yeah, punching him. Well, maybe not him, but yeah,
That's it. No more
yeah.
money for you.
We're getting divorced. Yeah, that's it for this episode, I guess.
Tap into Pelicans versus Clippers. Banger, guaranteed.
Another banger.
Unless Fatty folds, but yeah,
Unless what?
unless Fatty
Oh,
folds.
I didn't know who you meant, but now I do.
Well, there's only a couple fatties in the NBA.
You were talking about Ingram.
All those
Um,
Popeyes he be eating.
yeah, facts. Uh, yeah, that's it for this episode of the Hoopers Lab podcast. Join us on Monday when we're going to do our March Madness episode
Woo!
because we know lots of college basketball.
Certified college hoopers.
The less you know, the better, though. So we're gonna get the perfect bracket.
We
So stay
are.
tuned for that. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, leave a like and comment. If you're on Spotify, leave us 5 stars. Help us out a lot. That's it for us now. See you in the next one. Take care and goodbye.
Adios.